Hey there guys, a fun little video that I'm gonna put together for you today, and it harkens back to a video I did several years ago. A lot of people have talked to me about the shooter Crooks in the Trump assassination attempt shooting with some kind of a red dot, potentially even with iron sights, right? Oh, it's a hard shot. And then everybody else says, or other people say, oh, that's an easy shot. I want to be very clear, and I'm going to show you pieces of this video and you can see what I'm talking about. A 140-yard shot with iron sights is a freaking walk in the park. The Marine Corps qualifies at 500 yards with iron sights. This video, or this series of video clips I'm about to show you, is from a video a few years back that I did where I was shooting at 200 yards, 300 yards, even 400 yards, not with an AR-15 with iron sights, with a 1911 with 45 ACP plus P ammunition, iron sights. 200, 300, 400 yards. Now, I'm not hitting a bullseye, granted, especially not with that slow and heavy bullet. But nevertheless, this shows you that with a little bit of practice and a little bit of patience, that iron sights, you can make those do whatever you want. Again, I'm not saying Crooks used iron sights. I'm not saying he used a red dot. We don't have any clarification on that right now. What I'm trying to show you is, please don't think that this is an impossible shot. I'm not saying for those of you that have a different argument, I'm not saying he made the shot. I'm not saying somebody else made the shot. What I'm saying is, a person who has a little bit of practice invested can certainly make that shot with iron sights all day. A drunken midget with one arm tied behind its back can make that shot with iron sights. Check this out. All right, guys, we had an app called iSnipe where you put everything in from the type of firearm you're shooting, the exact ammo, the brand, the load in it. I had everything from gunpowder to the weight of the round, everything. And it's going to give you all of your information as far as what your holdover is. If you use these apps and you turn on location settings in your phone, it will use the local weather data to also help you calculate windage and things like that. So it's pretty interesting to use these apps, how versatile they are and how much help they are. See, we got a holdover 61 inches. That's what the bullet drop is going to be.
With the zero at 50 yards and this ammo. Our path,
that's the bullet drop.
You can see at 200 how much it's dropping, and then you can see also this is times 10 at 300. It's dropping, and then it gets.
It's a slow, heavy round.
More and more.
This is 200 yards.
Right up in the left corner.
Okay. So we're getting closer on our height. This is a Les Baer 1911 with Remington plus P ammunition.
Right.
I heard it hit again. Right dead center of the target.
Okay, so from the center.
Remember, guys, this is 200 yards away. Crooks had an AR-15 with a rifle round at 140 yards away with either iron sights or a red dot. I'm shooting a 5-inch barrel 1911 with iron sights at 200 yards, a longer shot than what Crooks was taking.
300-yard shot is 165 inches, which we calculated was 13.75 feet above the target was our holdover.
What's the
so we have to aim 13 feet above the target to hit it. That's the bullet drop.
So we're lobbing it in. This number is times 10. So it's 165 inches.
So we needed a holdover of 13 feet. Unfortunately,
again, guys, that's shooting 13 feet above the target in order to hit the target to allow for the bullet drop.
So we were going to have to find a spot in the trees above the target that we could eyeball directly behind the target.
There's a skinny branch that goes to the left, and then the main tree keeps going straight.
So we're aiming at a spot in the trees for our holdover.
I'm thinking a couple of feet above that park.
My friend Brent Flash is telling me where to aim in the tree in order to account for the bullet drop.
Almost to the light spot above it. The pole.
It hit something.
It hit something metal. Did it? Yeah.
300 yards.
Hell, I think you might have hit a leg.
We had hit a leg. When we got down there a little bit later on to check our shots, we actually found that the bullet had actually hit the frame, the metal frame of the whole target. It claimed on something.
300 yards.
That hit
Are you kidding me?
right at the bottom where the paper goes off.
Yeah.
That's right at that edge is where it hit.
I'm about 1.5 to 2 feet above that fork is my height.
That's probably about right. If you can get an inch or two more.
Okay. No problem.
Can you tell an inch?
Yeah, sure. We really couldn't believe we were hitting this thing at 300.
That's amazing.
That is. When we got down there, we realized that we had hit 2 shots right close to each other, and the other ones were probably going a little bit low. This was one 8-round magazine that we had fired at this target.
So we were hitting at 300 yards. We had already easily peppered the target at 200 yards. So now it's time to hit a 400-yard target. This is our iSnipe app. Notice 331-inch holdover rate. 27 feet in the sky is what we were aiming at. A cloud. This is the bullet drop.
This distance. At 200 yards, we were shooting here to hit here. At 300 yards, we were shooting here to hit here. Now at 400 yards, we would be aiming here for our bullet to hit here.
You can be getting ready.
If nothing else, this was going to be interesting.
Find where the lens is.
Again, guys, a 5-inch Les Baer 1911
Notice the wind was now blowing straight back in our face.
45 ACP round
All right.
plus P.
400. Here we go.
One shot.
Wind in our face.
All right.
Got it. I think you got it.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Take a closer look at both our camera angles. Notice, Brent sees that the target was hit before you actually hear it being hit.
Got it. I think you got it.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
400 yards. So you see, guys, that's not part of the quote conspiracy that we have going on. What I'm trying to do is make sure that we're focusing on the things that we need to be asking questions about. One of the questions should not be, there's no way he hit Donald Trump or somebody else at 140 yards with iron sights. Come on, man. Anybody with a little bit of time behind a trigger, behind an AR-15, using iron sights will tell you in a heartbeat, that's a makeable shot. It's an easy shot. That's not a trained marksman to do that. In fact, word on the street is that I believe somebody said Crooks trained, and I say trained, went to this range, remember, where the DHS also practices, 43 times in 1 year. Guys, I'd love to think that I go to the range that much. I don't go to the range that much. This guy had a pretty sizable amount of training. And now, you want to add to the conspiracy? You want to start asking the questions? How could he afford to go to a range 43 times in 1 year, right? This dude was a food preparer at an old folks home. How did he have the budget to go to the range 43 times in 1 year? I get that he probably had a membership. Great. What was he doing there? Was he shooting? He needed ammunition. Ammunition is not cheap right now. That's the questions that we ought to be asking, not whether or not he can make a 140-yard shot with iron sights on an AR-15.
God save the Queen, man.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America. He's over.